Alrighty guys, we're back for Mono Green Ramp, and this is a Foundation Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We have all 4 Llanowar Elves. Nice, that'll do the thing. We got 3 Bushwhack. Okay. We have an Aftermath Analyst in here, mainly for that bottom ability. We have 3 Bristly Bill Spine Sower, so 2 mana 2/2 legendary creature. When that land enters, you get a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then for 3 and double green, you double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. In this deck list, that's not going to be unheard of at all. We have 3 Up the Beanstalks for card draw. We have 3 Awaken the Woods as well. X and double green sorcery speed. Create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens. Awesome. It gives us a little note there. They are affected by summoning sickness, of course. We have a Titania, Voice of Gaea in here as a one-of, and actually over in the mana base, we do have Argoth, Sanctum of Nature. So it'd be cool to actually meld this into Titania Gaea Incarnate today, but that's not really what the deck is trying to do. But, you know, it's in here. You never know if it'll actually happen. We have 3 Springbloom Druids. It's a 3-mana 1/1, and when it enters, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for 2 basic land cards, put them out of the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Awesome stuff. We have 3 Mossborn Hydras too, so 3 mana 0/0 and enters with a +1/+1 counter. Does have trample, which of course will come in handy, and then landfall. So when that land enters, double the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature, which of course can get out of hand very fast, especially when you're smacking multiple land on the board on the same turn. We have a couple of Blossoming Tortoise in here too, 4 mana 3/3 that for some reason we never see. When it enters or attacks, you mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your battlefield or from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Activated abilities of lands you control cost 1 less to activate. Okay, so that makes the Argoth a little cheaper. And then land creatures you control get +1/+1, which actually does not matter for this deck list. We have a one-of doubling season. Even though we've been having a really hard time getting this going, I think that one-of in this style of deck list, I think we're going to be ramping effectively enough too. It's not going to be unheard of to get this down a couple turns early, maybe. At that point, that would be a pretty good doubling season game, right? If you get it down a couple turns early. We have all 4 Overlord of the Hauntwoods. You guys probably knew this was coming since we had Up the Beanstalk in here, right? Got to do some rearranging. You're really looking at that impending cost first. But then, you know, I guess we could put it back in the 5-drop spot too, because yeah, it is a ramp build. So casting this out for all 5 mana is not going to be unheard of. We have a Virtue of Strength here on the top end. Beautiful stuff. We have 2 Nissa, Ascended Animist as well. Pairing with that Awaken the Woods with that bottom ability, so -7 until end of turn creatures you control get +1/+1 for each forest you control and gain trample. So of course the tokens on Awaken the Woods are forests, which is really neat, huh? So we have a couple Walk-in Closet and Forgotten Cellars too. The Walk-in Closet side is a 3-mana enchantment room. You may play lands from your graveyard. Cool. I think that'll come in handy. But then also Forgotten Cellars, 5 mana. When you unlock this door, you may cast spells from your graveyard this turn. And if a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere this turn, you exile it instead. So Forgotten Cellar, once you get enough mana, I don't think it's going to be unheard of at all to activate the Forgotten Cellar side of things and maybe cast back an Awaken Woods for X's 5 or something, right? That would be assuming we had 12 mana on the board. Like I said, though, I don't think it's going to be unheard of in this deck list. We'll see, though. You know, I only have 24 actual land in here. 2 of them are the Argoth, where it does have that bottom ability. For 2 and a green, you can tap it to create a 2/2 green bear creature token. Then you mill 3 cards as well, which is awesome. You can activate this only as a sorcery, which is important. 16 forests, we have a couple Demolition Field, which will come in handy, and 4 Fabled Passage, just doing the thing for landfall. And also getting extra lands into the grave, which of course fits the whole theme. Some honorable mentions, guys. We got some pretty important creatures. I definitely thought about protection for those creatures. Snakeskin Veil could have been awesome in here. Vivian Reed almost made the cut, and Evolving Wilds is probably a bit excessive, but you know, you can keep your eye on it. If you need a budget trade out for the Fabled Passage, it would probably work fine. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked, see how we do. right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I unfortunately think it's going to be pretty janky, but we'll see. We'll see. We go first. Okay. 2 land in the opener. One of them's going to thin the deck list. Bushwhack can find our third. If we start with Fabled Passage, we'll have turn 2 up the Beanstalk too. Okay, I'm going to try this. Yeah, we'll see if I made a mistake just keeping it at 24 mana and not 25, but I feel like 24 is going to work well enough, especially when cards like Bushwhack can help us grab more as well, plus all the extra land, or all the extra ramp packed in anyways. Yeah, up the Beanstalk while we have the mana open. Virtue of Strength, of course, the adventure side can grab us the Fabled Passage back. Another Up the Beanstalk. That might be worthwhile. Oh, Charter Course. Oh, Mini Reanimator. Oh, Oculus. Oh, crap. Well, they're set up already. Another Up the Beanstalk. Well, that's all 3 of them. We could get the Mossborn Hydra down. Mini Reanimator has a lot of tempo. And just bounce it right back, potentially. Right, I guess we should establish a creature while we have it. I was tempted by Up the Beanstalk, Virtue, get the Fable, have the Fable for next turn, but then we'd have Blossoming Tortoise for next turn. But then we wouldn't have a Mossborn Hydra on the board either, so hopefully this works out. Founding the third path, it's a recommission. Here comes the Oculus. It's a 6/6. Oh, buddy, we're in danger, but maybe we can pull something off with this Hydra. Oh, Bristly build, nice. It's a great draw. It's a really great draw. Well, we'll see what they have open. I mean, all that on their board and they still have mana open, which is terrifying, huh? Virtue of Strength, grab the Fabled Passage. Play the Fabled Passage. Bristly builds ability first. Stack it on the Hydra. I guess we do that again. Might be able to Bushwhack the Oculus. I guess all our eggs onto one Hydra basket. Problem is if we Bushwhack, start with a swing, right? See what they end up doing. Bushwhack is sorcery speed, however, so hopefully they don't have anything too fancy. Nice, we actually got a terrific swing, and we still have the fight while keeping the Hydra around as well. Yeah, the problem is they can just bring it right back, but that's probably still the play, especially now that we know it's not tempo in their hand. Not bad, dude. Not bad. So let's see what they mill. Another Oculus. Oh, the Hottie Jin is chilling in the grave too. So they're ready to go. Multiple reanimation spells. Oh. It's not multiple reanimation spells, but they still have the one open, so it could at least be one still. Helping Hand only costs 1. Helping Hand brings a creature back tapped, though. And they didn't find mana here. It is going to be the Helping Hand for the turn. Guys, if that's it, we got there. I can't believe it, man. I mean, yeah, GG opponent. I mean, they didn't know that we were about to play a land, though. First of all, right? So technically they still had a block if we missed a land. That was good, but we got a little lucky too, right? Because usually these mini reanimator lists have a lot of tempo, like Unsummon, for example. Yeah, that would have taken out the Hydra easy peasy. But yeah, since they were at 12, technically they had a block into the Bristly build, take the 10 from the Hydra, but we knew that we were about to get some mana on the board. It probably would have started with Bushwhack, because you can miss on the Blossoming Tortoise. Actually, we wouldn't have missed on the Blossoming Tortoise, because Fabled Passage was already in the grave. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, not a bad first one, but I feel like we got a little lucky, honestly. Let's see if we can keep the ball rolling. I'm down for luck, man. I'm totally down. If we get lucky in every game, I'll be happy. But also, I guess the deck list was kind of doing the thing. We saw a lot of synergies there, actually. Even the Virtue coming in handy to bring the Fabled Passage back. That was really cool. All right. I don't see anything wrong with this. We keep this. Start with the Argoth. With Aftermath Analyst, ooh, doubling season, cool. Maybe we'll do a thing with that this game. With Aftermath Analyst, I hope we don't... Yeah, it's a little sketchy if we mill stuff that we need, but we'll see. Oh no, Bristly Bill, no, come back. And a forest. And a Bushwhack. Actually, all of those would have been terrific, right? We do find our third mana, though. That is untapped, which is awesome news. So, Fabrication Foundry. Cast Artifact Spell, activated ability of an artifact source. This is probably a board wipe style deck list. Establishing Overlord would be awesome. But with this hand, guys, I'm gonna try Mossborn Hydra. Oh, I guess we can attack too. I probably should have done that first. Good practice too. All right, Synthesizer comes down. Oh, buddy. Okay, let's see what we can get done with this Mossborn Hydra this turn. Because we have Fabled Passage, right? And then Forest. And then at that point, we have Aftermath Analyst ability. But it brings him back tapped, so it would just be Fabled Passage in Forest. Which is actually, I mean, that's 2 mana there, or that's 2 land. Awaken the Woods is also 2 land. Go up to 8, then 16. I guess the Awaken the Woods makes more sense. That way we can swing with the Analyst as well. Right? Oh, what am I mathing? 8, then 16. So it's 17 getting through, but that's still what we want to do. We want to optimize as much as possible here. Right? Yeah, I guess so. But if there's a board wipe, we'd rather pop the GG opponent. Well, crap. I wanted to play it out, but I guess another one where we're getting lucky? I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes, yeah, whenever you get to keep the big creature around, that it feels like you're getting lucky because there's so much removal in Standard. At the same time, though, we're going pretty fast with these Mossborn Hydras. We get them down right on 3 and right on 4. They're just a big threat to the opponent. But guys, if we were playing around a board wipe, then I guess it would have made more sense still to go the Aftermath Analyst route, spend the 4 mana, sacrifice it, because then it would only be 1 creature on the board for their board wipe anyways, but then also we would have ramped pretty significantly with the Forest and the Fabled Passage too. Getting the Fabled Passage out tapped is fine because next turn we would have had another Mossborn Hydra to use with it as well. Or at that point, maybe we would have taken time, established the doubling season too, since we would have had 6 mana total on the board. So yeah, if we were playing around the board wipe, the Aftermath Analyst would have been the better play over the Awaken the Woods. And then Awaken the Woods would have been even more to help us reestablish creatures after a board wipe as well. But yeah. Yeah, I think overall that would have been the better play. All right. Opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? After 2 nice, clean victories, I'm a little nervous, guys. Opponent goes first. I do like to see the Bristly Bills finally. I mean, one of them is going to die for sure, right? All right. We keep this, though. I feel like the hands have not been bad. Heartfire Hero. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. I mean, there's a chance that Bristly Bill sticks around and can grow thick enough. Okay. And they get to replace. So 5 damage coming through. It could have been worse, right? Another Forest. I guess I don't mind seeing it, but but we are in an oh dear situation. Okay, they use Rockface Village for colorless. Slickshot Show Off, nice. Oh, if this is a monstrous rage turn, then, I mean, we're in danger no matter what. We might as well keep Bristly Bill around, right? Or we could try it to block. Because we don't know what else we're going to have next turn anyways. All right, we'll try. It's all dangerous at this point, and it's all risky at this point too. They got one mountain open, 59 monstrous rage remaining in the deck list. So, I mean, they're thinking about it. Maybe it's just like a shock style ability. No, it's a monstrous rage. Oh, crap. Ah, geez, bro. So if we would be at 4, but we'd have a Bristly Bill still around. Bushwhack. Crap. We really wanted that Bristly Bill still around, huh? Oh, crap. Well, now we know it is better to keep the creature on the board because, yeah, that is one of the draws that really could have helped us out. However, Heartfire Hero being a 4/4 at this point too. If we had Bristly Bill already out there, we'd go Fabled Passage, get it up to 4. Then I guess we could Bushwhack the Heartfire Hero. We'd take that 4 anyways, though. We'd already be at 4. So I guess it doesn't really matter. But we still go for the Bushwhack on the Slickshot Show Off, and then attempt to block on the ground. We'll see what happens here. This would have been one of those ones for any deck list up against that lineup, right? It would have been really tough. So had we gone first, maybe one of the Bristly Bills could have got thick enough. All right, this is activate only as a sorcery. So it must be one last card remaining in their hand. I guess we'll attempt the block on the Challenger, see if it's just 5 damage coming through, which I highly doubt since they didn't activate the Rockface Village. It's a lightning strike. Well, GG mice, huh? Yeah, that's going to be tough for any deck list, but my poor Bristly Bills, bro. My poor Bristly Bills. We did see Bristly Bill do something today, though. We saw it put some counters on the Mossborn Hydra. Yeah, I guess we did see that. But I want to see more early Bristly Bills, too. Since it's legendary, I'm not sure if it's one of those legendaries that would be worth 4 of them in here. Like some legendary cards that you build a deck list around, it's like, oh, it's definitely worth all 4. The whole deck list like only operates when we see that legend or whatever, you know? For this one, I don't know about Bristly Bill. It's one that I do want to see all the time, though. Uh-oh, opponent goes first. Llanowar Elves in the opener. This should be a pretty darn good hand, man, because even if they pop the Elves, we'll have turn 2 Up the Beanstalk and potentially turn 3 Overlord, depending on if this Fabled Passage ends up holding us up. Temple of Plenty. It's a Bushwhack. All right, we definitely try Llanowar Elves. See if it sticks around. It might against Selesnya. Oh, Authority of Consuls. Oh, Temple of Plenty. Selesnya Control probably, or Selesnya Midrange, whatever we want to call it. The Titania on turn 2 is pretty good, but is probably Overlord for, well... crap. There's nothing necessarily big to ramp into right now, so maybe I will just go Titania for the turn. And save the Overlord for once we actually have the Up the Beanstalk established so we can start replenishing our hand. I hope that's okay, because obviously the ramp, just going for the ramp right out the gate and then getting the impending cost rolling. This just might be a game where we play a 5-mana Overlord is the thing. And that's what it's kind of looking like here, isn't it? Let's see, we'll have 3. Probably swing with the Llanowar Elves for the turn. Let's see what we draw on the Up the Beanstalk before we decide on a Fabled Passage or something. It's more mana. Maybe I should have thinned the deck list with the Fabled Passage first, huh? Maybe. Or thinned it with the Bushwhack too, honestly. Now, we will do some deck thinning this turn, though. Not with the Bushwhack. We'll probably need that. I'm just going to do this and get it out of the way, guys, instead of holding it open this whole time. Also, yeah, it's not terrible to do it now while Titania's actually alive. Caretaker's Talent. Oh, buddy, we're in danger. Carrot Cake. To get a chump blocker down. And this is a lot of mana. See what we can get done with our Overlord. Springbloom Druid is not terrible, I guess. Speaking of deck thinning, that is pretty significant deck thinning with the Springbloom Druid. Actually pretty cool. But yeah, no, for the turn, we're just going to go right into our Overlord. Which I suppose we can start with the swing on Titania. They just take the 3, they want their 1/1. Or they value their 1/1 more. I guess maybe we should be a little bit afraid of a board wipe. Aftermath Analyst. Okay. Okay. We definitely want to see more of our top end against Selesnya midrange. So hopefully we'll be drawn into that scene. Carrot Cake number 2. They keep it on top. That should be scary because they're drawn right into it. 4th mana, or 4th open mana. They go level 2, copy a bunny rabbit. No, they copy in everywhere, so they still have 4 mana open. Alright, their Overlord is about to become a creature. And we see another Overlord, which is actually not bad. What do I want to do here, guys? Might start with the swing again. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I haven't decided what I want to do necessarily. Go ahead, go Carrot Cake. Okay, are they going to do the other Carrot Cake too? You don't think they're going to quadruple block this Titania, do ya? Okay, we get an everywhere. You know what could have been interesting, actually, is playing this Overlord for Impending and seeing if we draw into one of our landfall creatures. Oh, Elspeth Smite. Nice. Okay, so that's one way to get around it. But that probably means they don't have a board wipe. They use 2 of their creatures and an Elspeth Smite just to get rid of one of our creatures. So they probably don't have one in hand right now. The other Overlord would be great. I think we might do some deck thinning here, guys. And I hope that's okay. 1, 2, 3. Over the Overlord, though? No, it's not okay, is it? We just go the Overlord. And maybe, oh, another Springbloom Druid. Maybe we go Bushwhack. Get rid of their last rabbit. They're going to create another one anyways. Nah, Bushwhack's going to have a much better target. Oh, Aftermath Analyst. We still have Llanowar Elves open, guys. And no direct threat. Bristly Bill, no. Virtuous Strength. Oh, buddy. That could have been an interesting one this game. We have enough mana for it. But it's out anyways. But they do go for a Sunfall. Huh. I'm surprised by that, unless they drew into it. Because I'm surprised by how much they put into the... to get rid of the first Overlord with the Elspeth Smite. Okay, Argoth. We didn't have 4 mana in the grave anyways. But that could have been interesting. This could have been an interesting game to actually try to meld. They got their own Overlord now. So it's going to be Argoth for the turn, for sure. Got to do some deck thinning here for sure, too. This is a problem. Yeah, we don't have any chump blocks for the Overlord. 1, 2. Another Springbloom Druid. Yeah, they're back up to 19. 1, 2. That's a lot of mana, dude. Could grab another one with the Bushwhack, but no, again, I'm holding on to it. Yeah, we just need more of our top end. Maybe I don't have enough top end in here, guys. I might not. Opponent has a great swing. I think they should take this opportunity to go for it. Because they can power up the 5/5 incubator. Swinging for 12 and puts us on a clock. Especially if they have removal for our chump blockers next turn. Caretaker's Talent, keeping their hand nice and stocked up. Meanwhile, our Up the Beanstalk is struggling to keep our hand nice and stocked, as of right now at least. Wow, they go for a herd migration. It's a Bristly Bill. I like seeing it, but at the same time, it's not going to be enough here at all. All right, well, still going to play it out though, huh? Let's get that forest down. Wait a minute. Bristly Bill before forest. What did I do that for, guys? I wanted to play it out, but I already made a mistake. Oh, well. Oh, well. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much, does it? We can also activate this only at sorcery speed. All of them coming out tapped is actually incredibly brutal, huh? And then Bushwhack, I guess really the only fight that we have where we don't lose a creature is the 1/1. So I'll do that as well. And we'll let the opponent swing on in. Dude, I'm scared of the opponent's deck list, honestly. This authority is actually one I feel like we don't see enough of overall. Okay, they activate Caretaker's Talent to boost the beasts. And we have a chump and a good game opponent. I think at some point, I do think that could have actually gone either way. It just started to significantly lean towards the opponent, which is definitely what their deck list is trying to do as well. Whereas what we're trying to do, of course, is ramp, but we weren't ramping into too much there outside of the Overlords. And then the mill on the Virtue was brutal, but again, even if we played the Virtue, wasn't too much that we would have been able to use all that excess mana for until we saw like an Awaken the Woods or something. Actually, an Awaken the Woods, that could have kept us in it. It would have been chump blockers for days, and their creatures didn't have trample or anything, right? Guys, we're about 27 minutes in. I'd say we're making good time overall. The matches haven't been too long, have they? But about a little over halfway through the video, I would say. And while I have you here, make sure you check out that description where we have that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And also, guys, for the YouTube nonsense, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well. It really does help out the channel. So thank you, guys. All right, opponent goes first. That's terrible news, but I like the hand a lot. Actually, the hand is so good that if we went first, I'd be scared for the opponent. Right? Turn 2 Mossborn Hydra seems disgusting. Storm Chaser's Talent. See if we're up against... Oh. Never mind. I was going to say, see if we're up against the teamer builds that we've been seeing. Otter teamers, or whatever we want to call it. Or teamer otters, I guess. But no, it is not. It is Esper colors so far. Nurturing Pixie. Oh, that's going to be neat. Get another otter for the turn. Prowess up the first otter. Swing for 2. That's a clean turn too, guys. That's terrifying. Okay, Demolition Field. We can hold off on Demolition Field for the turn. We can go Forest. Stick to the plan with the Mossborn Hydra. Or ramp with Overlord. I'm going to stick to the plan. I mean, the opponent's turn 2 is so good that we might already just be in danger regardless of what we play. We ramp with Overlord. That gives us a chance. Okay, it's going to be a nowhere to run on the Hydra anyways. If we ramped with Overlord, gives us a chance for a bigger Awaken the Woods when it comes time. However, without establishing the Hydra, that ramp is insignificant until we see more of our actual top end too, so... we could go Awaken for 2 this turn. Gets us 2 creatures on the board. and then we'll have a full-blown Overlord next turn, right? Give me 1 second, opponent. I am thinking, buddy. Because we also could go Fable within the deck list, because I really don't want to see more land off the top. Now, I am going to go X's to Awaken the Woods, which actually helps us catch up for me not ramping last turn with the Overlord. But then hopefully we can just play a full-blown Overlord by keeping at least one of these creatures around, which is the goal here. Playing around more spot removal. Oh, Fear of Isolation. Bounce the Nowhere to Run back. Play the Nowhere to Run. Boost the Prowess Otters. Opponent's deck list is freaking awesome, dude. That's really cool. I'm just going to take the 6. We're in danger either way. What's the chump, you know what I mean? We will have 5, though, if we... there might be a better chump in that forest's future. It is going to be more land off the top as well. Let's go ahead and get the full-blown Overlord down. They have 4 in the air here, guys. So they just need to play 1 spell that boosts the otters. I think they got this with a full swing, unfortunately. Oh, another Nowhere to Run pops the 1/1 anyways. So either way... Wait, 1, 2... Wait, they're still looking at that Overlord. Holy cow, this town ain't big enough as well for a tempo play on the Overlord. Again, bringing the Nowhere to Run for next turn, too. Dude. What the heck, man? Where's that deck list, huh? I think that's the first time I'm seeing that, and I'm very impressed. And I say I think because there's a possibility we saw this deck list, but it didn't do the thing. But I don't think so. Holy cow. I'm impressed. I like it. That was really neat. All right, well, again, making good time. We can definitely squeeze one more match in. And guys, I think we can end on a high note as well. Although I wouldn't be too surprised if we actually lose again, because it does feel about as janky as I was expecting, but at the same time, there's something. There's something here between the lines. Can't quite put my finger on what it is, but opponent goes first. Crap, dude. Crap. I think, did we lose every game where the opponents went first? Not 100% certain, but I feel like our first 2 victories, we went first. But I can't remember right now. All right. So a turn 2 Up the Beanstalk replaces itself. Turn 3 Mossborn Hydra. This is actually one of the weaker hands of the evening, too. We could try to mulligan to try to find something a little faster. I'm going to keep it. We'll see what ends up happening. Because win or lose, I'm relatively satisfied with what the deck list was able to do. And what we were able to showcase with it as well. It's about as much as I can expect. All right, opponent, what you got, buddy? What you got over there? We can go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent shows up completely. And I ended up keeping it paused too long. They got a Leyline of Hope and a Ruin Lurker Bat as their turn 1, guys. And here's our turn 1. It's a forest. Jeez. Jeez, bro. I'm scared. Honestly, Orzhov life gain is very scary. And it can go fast, too, with all the bats. Curves out really nicely. Like their turn 2 could be the creature that gets, or a creature that gets +1/+1 counters when they gain life. Luckily, it's just a Deep Cavern Bat, but they do get to tempo play us if they grab the Up the Beanstalk. Yep, because that's the only thing we can do next turn. Is a good grab. Hopefully we draw something we can play. It's a forest. Technically, that is something we could play. However, not something we need right now. We're in danger, bro. This could have easily been a mulligan. They go up to 26 here, thanks to the Leyline giving them the lifelink a little bit of an extra boost. Up to 28 with a Scoured Barrens. Honestly, it could have been much worse. All of that could have been much worse. But now that they have, let's see, 7 more than their starting life total, then creatures get +2/+2. All right, see if Mossborn Hydra number 1 sticks around on this board, guys. We'll see, we'll see. It's gonna be Gumdrop Poisoner. Oh, okay, that's a problem. So our Hydra is gonna die after the swing. Oh, they don't care to kill the Hydra. Ow? Question mark? What just happened? There we go. We were freezing, man. Well, that's pretty wild, man. That's a pretty wild setup, huh? Again, another match where it's like, no matter what deck list we played, this would have been pretty hard, huh? We have a cool turn. We're going to take the time, play this out completely. We have a very cool turn, but they're at 42, so... gets the Hydra up to 4. If we had like a Bristly Bill out there too, we might have been able to double this enough. With a Bristly Bill also putting the boost. Man, that's so cool. Oh, guys, we got them back down. All they have to do is gain from the food, though. Oh, that would have been... Yeah, we actually got them below 27 here. But all they have to do, gain from the food, their flying creatures go back up, and then they swing in the air. Man, another one. I think that could have gone either way. Every time they swing with these 5/5s, my game is like, what's happening? Okay, guys, deck win rate, 33%. We lost 4 in a row there, guys. Woohoo! Woo! Yeah, it's brutal, brutal stuff. But let's go ahead and go over the deck list again. What's neat, though, is a lot of those I kind of felt weren't entirely on meta, right? Some of those felt a little off meta. Like, we don't really see Selesnya midrange that much, right? We don't really see Orzhov life gain that much. And whatever the heck that Esper deck list was, we never see that. You guys let me know in the comments, do you guys see that deck list? Because that was freaking awesome. Outside of that, yeah. Here's the deck list. Opening hands were pretty decent. The draws were okay too. I think a big thing was we need to see more of our top end. And right now, I guess the majority of the top end technically is Overlord, where I was complaining a little bit in that one game where, oh, we're only seeing the Overlord as our top end. That's like the main top end here. Other top ends being, we kind of consider Awaken the Woods a top end too. You're really not going to play this as a 3-mana card, right? You're never going to play it as a 2-mana card. But 3, nah. 4, yeah, we do that, especially when landfall's around. But 5, 6, 7, 8, right, or more, that's like Awaken the Woods is one of our top end cards. So we can kind of put it up here as a way to remember that, right? So once we do move the Awaken the Woods up here too, we see that we now have 3 more cards that actually activates the Up the Beanstalk, right? So it's not just Overlord, Nissa, Virtue, doubling season, which once again, we weren't able to do anything with, but I'm still glad that I had it make the cut as a one of, because I think it is going to be neat enough in here, and I think we're going to be ramping well enough too. I mean, there's games, well, look, if you don't like doubling season, you can easily drop this, go up something else. I don't know exactly what we want to go up right now. Like I said, the deck list kind of performed, it kind of didn't. I'm stuck somewhere in the middle. Well, first of all, guys, put it on the do not craft list, though. There are a lot of mythics in here, man. Let's actually do some ranging. Llanowar Elves, we're rocking the Fancy Pants version, but technically that's just a common. Bushwhack is common. We got uncommon with Up the Beanstalk. Here's our first mythic Bristly Veil. Uncommon with Aftermath Analyst. Titania is mythic. Springbloom Druid is actually just common, which I actually really like this card. It's really neat, and I think that it's going to do a lot in here in general. I think that in a lot of cases, thinning the deck with cards like Fabled Passage and Springbloom Druid is actually just going to be really excellent for whatever game that you're in. Because when it comes back to your turn, it's really nice not to draw land, especially when you're ramping so well. And I think that the deck list did ramp really well, so at least it stayed true to its name, right? Anyways, we have rares with Mossborn Hydra. We have more mythics with Blossoming Tortoise. Did we see this poor little tortoise today? I don't think we did, actually. We have 4 Overlords. Those are mythic, Doubling Season, mythic, Walk-in Closet, mythic, Walk-in Closet. There we go. Nissa, mythic. Wow, there are a lot of cards we did not draw today, huh? Virtue, mythic. Awaken the Woods, mythic. Oh no. Fabled Passage is a really good land, but that is rare. And then Argoth is also rare. Also, guys, keep an eye on your collection. I'm using the old version of Fabled Passage because I actually don't have any of the ones from Bloomburrow. So always keep an eye on your collection when it comes time. But anyways, yeah, put it on the do not craft list, guys. Way, way too janky. I'll probably put a warning in the description. I've been trying to do that more often with the deck lists that are pretty janky, but then also very expensive too. This is one of them. I can't believe that pile of mythics right there. I literally can't believe that. It's like how, might as well do a mythic only deck list one of these times, right? Let's see how it goes. I don't know if we could do that with the lands though. How many lands are mythic? Is there a way to check? There's not enough mythic lands, unfortunately. But we could cheat with the lands. Also, that's a pretty silly concept too. So we probably won't do that, but still. All right, let's go ahead and rearrange it now that we put it on the do not craft list. I'm like, don't even put it on the craft a little bit less list either, guys. Like for real. We got to do something to the deck list, and or maybe we don't have to do anything. It's also just possible that the meta is just going to be that good anyways, and there's actually no way to make this better. That's also a possibility. I doubt it. There's probably some form or another to make this a little better, but I guess you never know sometimes, right? I don't know if the 4th Mossborn Hydra would actually be worth it. You saw how when you do put all of your eggs into the Mossborn basket, that you're heavily relying on the fact that the opponent's not going to remove it. How often is that going to happen? That's why those victories felt a little lucky, because it didn't happen. We actually got to keep the boss monster around, which I would say is actually pretty rare. So the more common deck lists that you might get to keep Mossborn Hydra around is like if you're up against a mono red list or mono red style where their only removal is burn, and you got lucky enough to boost the Hydra above their burn, like the turn that it actually comes down. Maybe you ramped pretty significantly or something, you get the Mossborn down, and then you still had a Fabled Passage to play too. So something along those lines. And then you have to have like Bristly Bill on the board boosting it as well. And then even then, boosting it above the burn in mono red doesn't really help you that much. Often it's just going to be a Heartfire hero swinging in with a bunch of boosts on it anyways. You're going to be forced to block with the Hydra. Heartfire hero dies. Your face is hurting. Like there's a lot. There's a lot going on at all times. So maybe some more like life gain could help us a little bit. Probably not. This is one of those ones. Guys, let me know in the comments, what would you add or take out? Last time we visited mono green ramp in this style, it was just mono green landfall. I think we had more landfall packed into. I think in that one we did have all 4 Mossborn Hydras too. Either way, you guys really liked that deck list, so maybe we just like lean it more into that landfall style, and maybe it would do a little better. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I do know one thing. We could probably drop Walk-in Closet and Forgotten Cellar down to 1, and we could probably do that right now and maybe go up that 4th Bushwhack. But if we do that, we're dropping some of the top end, where we're kind of considering Forgotten Cellar on the top end as well. Something else I could see is actually going up the 2nd Virtue in place of the 2nd Walk-in Closet and Forgotten Cellar. Sometimes when I put 2 of in a deck list over the 1 ofs, that kind of just means I really want to see it when I play it. In those matches, would we have had a chance to actually play this and do something with it? Probably not, right? So what would we replace? Maybe a 4th Springbloom Druid. I do like that. And we were drawing into a lot of lands, even though we only got 24. When we're significantly thinning the deck list, I guess we might have flooded in some of those games too, with how much we were actually drawing. Walking Closet and Forgotten Cellar is also a card that doesn't actually work with the Up the Beanstalk unless you just play Forgotten Cellar side right away. So I am convinced we're going to go down to 1 Walking Closet and Forgotten Cellar. Now the question is, what do we go up? The 4th Bushwhack could be decent. I don't mind Bushwhack, and there's not a lot of removal in here. I could also see that Snakeskin Veil that made the cut in the honorable mentions at the beginning. Because if you are able to get a Bristly Bill or Mossborn Hydra established, there's a chance that you'll have an open green source for the Snakeskin Veil, which of course would be pretty darn good. However, 21 creatures, that's not bad. Maybe it is the Snakeskin Veil, and we would go Snakeskin Veil for the +1/+1 counters, because it works really well with the bottom ability on Bristly Bill. Works with Doubling Season too. Oh, works with Mossborn Hydra, of course, too, right? The extra counters. So let's just go up 1 Snakeskin Veil. And when you see it, you'll be happy. And if you don't see it, the deck list will still be as janky as possible. And look, I'm talking like other people are going to be playing this deck list, but don't, that's just how I always talk, man. Again, this is on the Do Not Craft list, and I will put it down in the description, as I've been trying to do. I'll put a warning down there. Anyways, guys, I do like that change. When you are playing a deck list like this, and a lot of mid-range deck lists too, I've been doing this thing where I've been adding a lot more one-ofs to the deck list. It just kind of feels like having that more variety actually does help out in these best of 1 games, but we'll see. We'll see how that continues to go, because I also like clean looking deck lists too, where we got a whole bunch of 4-ofs and stuff. Actually do like Argoth, Sanctum of Nature. What's nice too is Bristly Bill being that legendary. You could still have the Bristly Bill out there and then have Sanctum of Nature come out untapped too. So I still like the 1 of Titania and the 2 of Argoth. Neat. We saw Nissa more often today, especially in our mid-range games. That could have really helped, probably. Like the -1 destroy target artifact or enchantment. I mean, bro, you know what I mean? Like, we could have popped that Caretaker's talent. We could have started generating with the +1, depending on what they had on the board at the time, because Nissa's pretty hard to get rid of. That's a lot of loyalty. You cast it out for the full 7. So, yeah, this really could have helped. Is this something we want to consider as a 3 of? Maybe. Maybe. I'm not convinced right now. Actually, just more testing required at that point, but we'll see what we can come up with next time, because of course we'll be visiting Mono Green Ramp again in the future at some point too. Guys, we're about 48 minutes into the video. I say enough rambling, huh? This one kind of confused me a little bit based on how the games actually went, but then also I thought we showcased it pretty well, but then we're sitting here looking at it like, wow, there's actually a lot of cards we just didn't see. So, yeah. Guys, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.